spent all morning disassembling the rear end of the 350Z. I was able to get the subframe out completely by myself without the help of Drift Dad. And I'll tell you what, it was pretty difficult. I used both of my jacks to slowly lower the subframe out, and I was this close to having it tilt and then fall on the side of the drive shaft mount. Luckily though, that didn't happen. I didn't bust all that many knuckles. Needless to say, it's out and ready for some solid mounts. This is one of the more annoying jobs I know I'll have for the Z, but it's something that needs to be done. When I drifted it a couple weeks ago, bone stock, there was so much wheel hop. And that's because these rubber bushings just have degraded over time, and they aren't doing that solid of a job to keep the subframe from shifting around. So to mitigate any subframe movement, if we look in the fridge here, I have solid subframe bushings and solid diff bushings as well, wherever they are. We're doing this because we want the metal to contract as much as possible, because to slip them into the subframe mount location, it's difficult enough given the tight tolerance for this mount. So freezing them will contract them and hopefully let them slide in. Before we can even get to that point, we're gonna have to get the stock bushings out. And to do that, we are going to use the handy dandy Sawzall. Oh, geez. Look at that. Now I just gotta repeat that 3 more times. All right, fast forward about an hour. I have Javier and my boy Panda Gen here to help me. Well, Anthony, he's just sitting. Javier's helping me though.
Look at his hands.
Oh, they're dirty now. Yeah, calluses though.
Oh, sure. But what we had to do was completely strip the subframe down to just the frame itself. These bushings here actually required me to flip the subframe, and to do that, I wanted to not have the diff leak out of the top of like the vent tube. But now that it's a naked subframe, we can go ahead and get these bushings out, which look like they might be a little more difficult than what those two were. All right, so for these bushings up here, couldn't figure a way to cut them out, so we're gonna just burn them out. Nice and toasty. Oh, I like the smell of burning bushings, honestly. Although it's probably not good for you. There we go. Last bushing out, and I'm telling you, these two, 100% more annoying than the other ones. We've been at this for what, 45 minutes just getting these two out?
5 hours.
Feels like it. Anthony's sitting over here looking pretty though. Okay, it is the following weekend. Whenever I would get off of work, I would work a little bit more to get the rest of the bushings out. There was the diff bushing in the subframe that I used the same method to get the subframe bushings out. Sawzall and then a sledgehammer to beat it out of the frame. And then for the differential, didn't have to burn any bushings. I just had to get a 36mm socket and pound it out. So that's done. I'll tell you what though, to get all of these bushings out was a super frustrating and difficult process.
What do you mean? It's a piece of cake.
Yeah, because you didn't do anything to help.
That was a piece of cake. It would have been better if I would have been here. You wouldn't have messed up your subframe there.
If you look at it here, because we were pounding on it so hard, I bent the tabs just ever so slightly where what I think the toe arms go. So we might have to bend it back into place. What I'm hoping is when I go to tighten up the arm in its place, that it will bring the two pieces together back to its original shape. I can only hope, but silly me for making that rookie mistake. I guess I won't mention the other damage I caused.
I'm not familiar with that one. What was that?
What's this? From beating it so hard. Sorry about that.
You know what?
It's a lesson.
You know what would fix that?
Not Speedy Fix.
Speedy Fix. Yeah, I could just pour some Speedy Fix powder in there and just
smooth it over.
Yeah, smooth it over. It'd be like new. So what if it'd be black?
So as far as what is on the agenda for today, we got to press the rest of the subframe bushings in, and then get it back into the Z. I'll go to the handy dandy freezer where I've had the bushings frozen for a solid week now. And because they are frozen, they should just slide right into place. Ah, man, felt like I got frostbite for a second. They'll go in.
Not.
You just gotta hammer it a little bit.
Now you gotta. Yeah, it's all dinged up there.
Oh, really?
Put them back in the freezer.
And we'll clean up
Okay,
the
you want a
holes.
contest?
What?
Let's see. Put them in your shorts and see who can stand it the longest.
Oh, we could.
Oh! Okay. Wait a minute, you're not even doing it.
I'm like,
Whoa. Okay, forget that.
You're having a little bit too much fun out here today. So Drift Dad dremeled out, I guess, some of the nicks that I created from getting the old bushings out, and to put the new one in, should just slide right in. Look at that, perfect. And for the solid diff bushing, go ahead and throw it in here, and use a little bit of a mallet to get it to slide in. Now, ISR supplies you with shims, so if you want to raise your subframe or keep it at the OEM height, then these shims will go essentially on the bottom here because the subframe's flipped upside down. And if you choose to not use any, you are effectively raising your subframe, which improves your roll center. Now, don't quote me on what I'm about to say, but from my research, when you raise the subframe, you help your roll center. And what I really want to do with this car is to get the rear grip dialed in, so effectively decrease anti-squat. And keeping it at its OEM height does just that. Now, what's important though, because this is a daily and we're going to solid subframe bushings, to minimize the amount of NVH or noise, vibration, and harshness, ISR supplies you with these little thin rubber, I guess, insulators that we are going to put in between the frame and the chassis of the car to hopefully minimize all that noise. Now, I'm not expecting it to eliminate all the noise. I know we are definitely going to hear a lot of that driveline noise, which I'm completely fine with. But for a daily, for Drift Dad, I know he wouldn't like the extra noises that it would make.
It's not my daily.
Exactly.
Besides, you're not going to be able to hear anything over the exhaust anyway, so what's the big deal?
But with that said, let's go ahead and throw the subframe back into the car.
This is the year that I come in and just devastate. My style is great, action peoples cannot dominate. My rhymes are harder than last night's erection. Don't blame it close, I have this mic up in your midsection. My shit is love, simply meaning that my joint is tight. Amping up the mic, making sure production's tight.
Now with the subframe hanging on, we can go ahead and position the shims in such a way that if we ever need to take them out, just gotta lower the subframe a bit and remove them. 37 foot-pounds is the torque spec. We did our best by hand to get that. Drift Dad's just tightening up some plastics underneath because we all know how much he loves making sure that all OEM plastics are still in place. But I guess here you can see just what I was talking about, how I thought I had bent the tabs on this subframe piece here. It's kind of drastic now looking at it from here. Don't know if that's supposed to be the way it looks or not, but I highly doubt it. So we'll have to address that after we get the diff in. And similarly, I'm using the OEM, I guess, rubber grommets to just minimize all vibrations that are bound to happen. For the mounting, I'm using the stock bolts, and then I found a little rubber washer that I'm just gonna put in between the stock metal washer and the solid diff bushing. Doing what I can to keep the vibrations to a minimum. And while the car is already jacked up, I put the jack against the transmission, and we're gonna replace the shifter bushing with a solid one. Two 14 millimeters that hold this brace up, and then there's a 14 millimeter long bolt that holds the brace in place. And then it looks like these are just 214s to get this old bushing out. New solid bushing right here, eBay special. Line it up there, then just thread the bolts through. All right, so new transmission mounts in. You can see how the old one started deteriorating in there. That's why the shifter would move all the mounts of crazy on the highway. We have the drive shaft back in, the sway bar. Drift Dad's doing his thing, putting all the plastics back on, because Drift Dad loves OEM plastics.
Love the plastics.
One thing that I know we forgot to mention as far as putting the subframe back in, don't forget your bracing on the back side that goes across. And then on the front, you have the fuel tank cover protector with this brace here that you need to throw back in. If you don't, then you'll bottom out the nut on the stud, and we almost stripped the one on the back driver's side because of that very reason. So keep that in mind.
We would have fixed it somehow, right?
I don't know how you fix a chassis stud. Now that's one more piece to the 350Z puzzle done. I do have solid engine mounts to go in, but I am waiting for a subframe modification that I have a friend of mine doing for me. So the drive line is pretty much gonna be all solid. Perfect for a daily. But like I said, we're doing what we can to keep the vibrations to a minimum. So that's gonna be it for us today. It is my sweet mother's birthday, and she wants to go see a movie on this Saturday afternoon.
Shame on us for even being out here. We should have been catering to her every need.
But hey, Drift Dad, thanks for your help.
No problem.
You guys, we will be tackling suspension. We got BC coilovers, PBM drop knuckles to go in. I'm telling you, this whole 350Z is getting completely revamped. Please give us a big thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And with that said, hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.